Welcome back to Ditch the Debate and Make It Happen podcast. I'm your host, Taniel, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic, one that I'm sure many of us can relate to: procrastination and perfectionism. I want to unpack these twin challenges, explore their roots, and understand how they impact our lives as high performing moms who are juggling multiple hats. Let's get clear on the understanding of these. Procrastination, as we all know very well, is the art of delaying tasks or decisions often until last minute, despite knowing the not so good consequences. And then its close buddy perfectionism is the relentless pursuit of flawlessness, the never ending quest for impeccable results, which is an illusion. Let me nerd out here a little as we know how much I love psychology. Why do we procrastinate? Procrastination is triggered by stress, which often stems from fear of failure, fear of criticism, even fear of success. We put off tasks because we're afraid of not meeting our own or others' expectations. And why do we feel the need to be perfect? Well, perfectionism, on the other hand, is often rooted in a desire for control. We mistakenly believe that if everything is perfect, then we'll be immune to criticism, rejection, or disappointment. But of course, life doesn't work that way. And the pursuit of perfectionism only leaves us feeling more stressed, overwhelmed, and stuck. Procrastination and perfectionism can wreak havoc on our productivity, stifling our creativity and draining our energy. But it's not just about productivity, it's also about our well being. The constant pressure to be perfect and the guilt of procrastination can take its toll on our mental and emotional health, leaving us feeling burnt out and disconnected from ourselves and our loved ones. I want to take a moment to explore the intricate relationship between these two. Understanding how they feed into each other can provide valuable insights into our own behavior and thought patterns. Procrastination and perfectionism can often go hand in hand, forming a toxic cycle that can feel us living trapped in a state of paralysis. On one hand, perfectionism fuels our fear of failure and our desire to avoid making mistakes. So we set impossibly high standards for ourselves, leading into feelings of inadequacy and self doubt. Then, on the other hand, procrastination becomes a coping mechanism for dealing with the overwhelming pressure of perfectionism. We put off tasks because we're afraid of not meeting our own impossibly high standards, or because we're paralyzed by the fear of failure. But of course, this only exasperates feelings of stress and anxiety, leading to even greater procrastination. We found ourselves caught in a cycle of delay and self criticism, unable to make progress or enjoy the journey. Does this make sense? So, how do we break free from this vicious cycle? Well, it starts with awareness. By recognizing the interplay between procrastination and perfectionism, we can begin to unravel their hold on us and start to manage our own expectations and thought patterns. We can challenge our perfectionist tendencies and reframe our perspective on imperfection, focusing on progress and growth only. Perfectionism isn't just about striving for excellence, it's about chasing an unattainable standard of flawlessness. We set impossibly high standards for ourselves and sometimes others. And when we inevitably fall short of these, we're left feeling disappointed, inadequate, and stuck. One of the most frustrating effects of perfectionism is analysis paralysis. We get so caught up in overthinking, overanalyzing, and second guessing ourselves that we become immobilized. We're afraid to take action for fear of making mistakes or falling short of our own sky high standards. Another hallmark of perfectionism is chronic dissatisfaction. No matter how hard we work or how much we achieve, it never feels like enough. We're always striving for more, chasing that elusive perfection. And as a result, we never allow ourselves to truly celebrate our successes or even acknowledge that there has been a success, right? But perhaps the most tragic consequence of perfectionism is the missed opportunities that it brings. We hold ourselves back from taking risks, trying new things, and pursuing our passions because we're afraid of the failure or rejection. And in doing so, we're depriving ourselves of growth and learning and fulfillment. I'll be honest with you, I have grappled with perfectionism for as long as I can remember. And I can say that currently I'm a recovering perfectionist. I've lost count how many times I've held myself back from pursuing a dream or taking a leap of faith because I was afraid I would not measure up. But I've also learned that perfectionism is a trap, a never ending cycle of self doubt and self criticism that only leads to frustration and regret. So much regret. And this is not an emotion that I'm fond of. I do still fall off the wagon at times, but for the most part, I'm living a perfection free lifestyle. The paralysis of perfection is all too real for so many of us. But really, it is important to remember that perfection is an illusion, an unattainable ideal that only serves to hold us back. So let's reframe our perspective on imperfection. Contrary to what we've been conditioned to believe, imperfection is not a sign of failure or inadequacy. In fact, it's a natural and inevitable part of the human experience. Imperfection is what makes us human. It's what gives our lives texture and depth and richness. And quite honestly, it's the best way to learn. Instead of striving for flawlessness, let's strive for progress. Let's focus on making small, meaningful strides forward rather than obsessing over unattainable ideals. Deal? Good. Progress is messy, my friends. It's filled with detours, setbacks, and unexpected twists and turns. But that's what makes it beautiful. It's in the messy middle where growth happens, where we stumble, fall, and pick ourselves back up again, stronger and wiser than before. Do you agree? A crucial part of embracing imperfection is cultivating self-compassion. We need to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend. We need to acknowledge our mistakes and shortcomings come without judgment, bias, or self-criticism, and instead offer ourselves the grace and forgiveness. I do want to note here that imperfection is not about settling for mediocrity. It is about embracing the journey of growth and self-discovery. Does that make sense? My last bit here that I want to touch on is one of my favorite, the power of the mindset. Specifically, how cultivating a growth mindset can help us overcome procrastination and perfectionism and make meaningful progress in our lives. What exactly is a growth mindset? Well, it's a belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and effort, right? In other words, it's a belief that we're not limited by our innate talents or shortcomings, but rather by our willingness to learn, grow, and adapt. One of the hallmarks of a growth mindset is the love of learning. Instead of viewing challenges as threats to our self-worth, we see them as opportunities for growth and development. We accept feedback. We seek out new experiences. And we persist when faced with challenges, knowing that every setback is a chance to learn and improve. But a growth mindset isn't just about learning. It's also about resilience. We understand that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone on the path towards success. We bounce back from setbacks with renewed determination and optimism, knowing that failure is not a reflection on our worth, but rather a temporary setback on the journey to mastery. Another key aspect of a growth mindset is the belief in the power of effort and persistence. We understand that success is not determined by an innate talent or luck, but rather by hard work, dedication, and perseverance. We're willing to put in the time and the effort required to achieve our goals, knowing that every small step forward brings us closer to the success. So, how do we cultivate a growth mindset in our lives? Well, it starts with changing our internal dialogue. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we say, how can I do this? Cultivating a growth mindset is a powerful antidote to both procrastination and perfectionism. By embracing learning, resilience, and effort, we can break free from the shackles of our self-doubt and make meaningful progress in our lives. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with some final thoughts and actionable steps to take on your journey forward. We've learned that procrastination and perfectionism are common challenges that many of us face, but they don't have to define us. I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with procrastination and perfectionism. What patterns do you notice? How do these tendencies show up in your life and work? And most importantly, what insights have you gained from today's discussion that you can apply to your own journey? What steps can you take to break free from the grip of procrastination and perfectionism and move forward with clarity and confidence? It might be setting realistic goals, practicing self-compassion, seeking support from peers or mentors, or simply taking that first small step towards the life of your dreams. Remember, my friends, that progress is a journey. It is not a destination. It's okay to stumble along the way, to take detours and make mistakes. What matters is that you keep moving forward, one imperfect step at a time, towards a future filled with possibility and potential. Thank you for joining me today on Ditch the Debate and Make It Happen podcast. We've taken a look into the complex interplay between procrastination and perfectionism, uncovering their roots, understanding their impact, and exploring strategies to overcome them. As high-performing moms juggling numerous responsibilities, it's crucial to recognize that these challenges are not unique to us. They affect individuals across various walks of life, and acknowledging their presence is the first step towards liberation. We learned that procrastination often stems from fear, while perfectionism is rooted in a desire for control. Together, they form a toxic cycle that can hinder our progress and drain our energy. But there's hope. By cultivating awareness, embracing imperfection, and fostering a growth mindset, we can break free from the shackles of procrastination and perfectionism. It's about reframing our perspective, resetting our own expectations, treating ourselves with compassion, and celebrating the journey of growth and self-discovery. So as you go about your day, I encourage you to reflect on the insights I shared today. Take a moment to identify actionable steps that you can implement to nurture a healthier relationship with productivity and self-worth. Remember, progress is not about perfection. It's about perseverance. It's about showing up, taking small steps forward, and embracing the messy middle of growth. Thank you for being with me today. And let's ditch the debate and make it happen. You've got this.